at 6:30.
And of course, time for our question of the day, and a very interesting one this morning, as always.
Yeah, as always. All right, let's hear from you this morning. I can tell you one thing from my side. There was not a single taxi on the road coming into work, and normally that is all that I am confronted with on the roads, is taxis zooming up and down past me, in front of me. Not a single taxi. The roads were empty this morning, so beware here, particularly in the Johannesburg area. So the question we're asking you, is the taxi industry holding the country to ransom? Some of the demands they're asking?
Absolutely, vehicles that have been impounded, and it's not the first time that they have made such a demand that impounded vehicles be released. But then the question is, why should the taxi industry be held to a different standard of accountability than the rest of us?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, these are some of the things they're asking for those impounded vehicles to be released. I know that they're also saying the VAT increase is a problem, the petrol increase is a problem, things that we're all agreeing with. But the one thing that is a problem is particularly those impounded vehicles, and I think many of them are really not roadworthy. We've seen it on the roads, and what do we do? And this is just the problem. A lot of people have absolutely no transport this morning. So talk to us. Are you struggling? What's happening with you this morning? And do you have alternative plans?
And moving along now to the stories of the day, and this is what you can look forward to. President Cyril Ramaphosa, he will address the ANC's consultative workshop on the party's manifesto ahead of next year's elections, and that will be taking place at the St. George's Hotel in Irene.
6 men suspected of recently robbing a jewellery shop in Menlyn Shopping Centre are expected to appear in the Pretoria Magistrates Court.
Communications Minister will unveil plans for a comprehensive broadcast policy review as committed during the department's 2018 budget vote.
Economic freedom fighter leader Julius Malema due back in the Newcastle Magistrates Court today on a charge of contravening the Writers' Assemblies Act by allegedly inciting his supporters to invade land.
And a formal bail application of the 5 boys who allegedly gang raped a 14-year-old boy will be heard at the Tabanchu Magistrates Court today.
All right, let's talk trending stories now. And of course, the sports taking the top segment again, and that of course is Senegal, our African champions, I suppose, that we're hoping are going to get through to this next round. Who are they playing next? Colombia, right? So we've got to get through Colombia at least with a draw.
Yeah, but I don't know how far Senegal going to go looking the way they do right now. They cannot defend to save their lives. Very Arsenal-esque, if you ask me. So they can't defend.
Okay, so not too much confidence coming from Sakina there for Senegal. But nonetheless, we're grateful where they are at the moment. Bulawayo, and I think that of course is going to what happened over the weekend with the Zimbabwean President Emerson Mnangagwa at the stadium, where there was a bomb blast. I think over 40 people injured. An awful story coming out of Bulawayo.
Many questions emanating from that, not least of which is the security detail and intelligence around the protection of President Mnangagwa. Yeah. But I suspect we haven't seen the end of this.
Absolutely not. That was way too close. Another trending topic, again, one of our stories in the news, ANC Limpopo Conference. The ANC saying this is what unity looks like. But does it really? So there you go. In fact, stay tuned. We're going to be taking the Northwest Province into the spotlight. We have the Northwest Province's Premier, newly elected Premier, Job Mohoro, as our guest here on the program in a short while. That'll happen just after 6:30. Do stay tuned. Then exciting developments at the SABC, finally getting a brand new GCEO and CFO elected over the weekend.
Yes, and many people welcoming that because they're saying, it's been long overdue. It's about time the SABC had permanent, stable leadership to take the organization forward.
Yeah, so that's the big story coming out of our organization. The SABC appointing Madodo, I hope I'm going to pronounce this right. I'm going to say it many times.
Madoda Ngakwe
as our GCEO, congratulations, and Yolanda van Billion as the CFO. So those are the 2 appointees. And then finally, VBS Mutual Bank. Still a very, very worrying and disturbing stories coming over the weekend.
I tell you, eyebrows being raised about what was going on at BBS Mutual Bank.
Yeah, frightening. So those were the trending topics over the weekend, and we'll continue to monitor those through the week and tell you how they develop. So that's it. Let's take a look at some traffic now, and we'll